let's look at a few little charts here. Here's one that shows you the DCA zone. We're not quite in there. We're kind of in like the HODL zone, right? And then what happens afterwards, you have the up only zone. That's the parabolic phase, the banana phase of this cycle. And you know, we're building up to it, right? Maybe not this month. Maybe it's going to start October. Or maybe it starts this month because, again, for the first time in 4 years, you're going to have central banks around the world, including the US, start cutting rates. That is a very bullish thing. Extremely bullish, right? So for the first time in 4 years, we could see Bitcoin and broader markets move in a way we haven't before, right? So this is showing good things are coming. This is also showing good things are coming, that we're mimicking the 2017 cycle when we went from $1,000 to 20,000, right? So you could see all-time high on the left side, all-time high 2013. That's when I got in first. Like when I first heard about Bitcoin, it went above $1,000 and I'm like, man, what did I miss out on? I was in IT then and I'm like, how did I miss out on that? Well, it's because I got burned in 2008. The housing crash. I just didn't want to pay attention to any kind of investments, right? But I got in. I didn't understand. And I saw Bitcoin crash to $160. But I didn't think of it much. I didn't understand it until I got back in 2017 when it hit $1,000 again, right? But you could see when it broke through, it kind of went sideways a little bit before it really started going up, right? And we're kind of in the same way. Yes, our consolidation is longer, but again, we broke through all-time high way quicker than we did in 2016. Months ahead. We broke it in March. That didn't happen. If you look at it, it didn't even happen in that halving year of 2016. Bitcoin didn't break through all-time high until the second year, 2017, right? So we're way, way, way ahead. But overall, you could see the pattern is almost identical. You hit an all-time high, you go down with crypto winter. With this time we went to 15,000, we came back up, we're consolidating. Guess what the next step is? The banana zone. That's what the next step is, right? Here's another longer version of that. Same thing. You get a little consolidation period, and then what happens? You go upwards. That's when we saw 20,000 in 2017 from a measly $1,000 at the beginning of the year. So where will we hit, or where will we start the new year in 2025? We're going to start at 100,000. Think about it. Think about starting 2025 at 100,000. I do think we will hit 100,000 even before the end of the year. But imagine starting out at 100,000. Where will Bitcoin end up by the end of 2025? Can it only go up a 2x? By the end of the year, when in 2017 it went up 20x, man, it's fun to think about. But you know, here's the reality: we only have 3 months. 3 months until the end of the year. We don't have to wait much longer. This is not fantasy world where I'm saying, well, let's wait 3 more years or 5 more years or 10 more years to find out. No, we'll find out in 3 months. Last 2 Septembers, right, from previous cycles. And you can see in September, if you look at both, the last September 2023, which is from last year, we did have a little dip before. And then we went up crazily, right? That's when Bitcoin was still stuck in like the 20,000 zone, and we never looked back. And then you look at September 2020, we got that little dip, and then guess what? We never looked back, right? Are we going to see the same thing happen this September? We go break the mold of a red month, a historically bad month, or we go break that and start moving upwards? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Bitcoin miners, they're also feeling the heat right now. Bitcoin miners see worse revenues in 11 months at difficulty climbs. You know, they go through this, right? Sometimes they even sell. Sometimes they have to sell. Well, you know, for miners, the Bitcoin difficulty adjusts every 2 weeks, right? And right now, we saw them go through a capitulation period. Maybe it's not quite over yet, because some of the smaller miners are really feeling the heat. You know, it costs about $50-something thousand to mine a single Bitcoin. So a lot of them are like getting close to neutral, if not more. So a lot of them have to just like sell and capitulate, right? But the bigger ones, they don't care. They keep onboarding more and more miners, which is why difficulty continues to go up. And they don't care that the difficulty rises because they actually like it. They probably want to shut down the smaller miners. They want to kick them out. But they know ultimately Bitcoin is scarce. You want to accumulate as much as possible, right? So that's kind of like how it goes with the miners, how I see it. There's waves too, right? Especially having events puts on a huge amount of pressure for miners because it becomes twice as expensive to mine a single Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's network continues to get bigger and stronger. That's why the difficulty is going up. The hash rate continues to go up. And ultimately, it's the best network that we have. The most secure and the most transparent and most immutable and most unhackable network that we have today. Running for, 14 years without downtime, without it being hacked. And so good, in fact, that governments have stopped trying to shut it down. Just take a second to think about that, how amazing that is. Governments around the world have now concluded you can't shut down the network. So you might as well just embrace it. There's nothing else out there that governments can't shut down. I mean, it's quite amazing if you think about it. Anyways, so the miners, right? They continue to power the network. Maybe some of them are selling because they are capitulating because they just can't survive. But the big ones, and there are a lot, and now Russia is getting involved with mining. China, of course, is involved with mining. The US is now a huge mining country and could be even bigger. It's kind of like a global race, right? You know, it's like global race to hoard like precious metals like gold and stuff. We're going to see a global race to hoard Bitcoin. It's coming. It is definitely coming. Now, whales, of course, have been hoarding for a long time. So wallets with 100 plus Bitcoin hit 17-month highs. So the large whales, long-term holders, continue to load up. That's all you could do. That's all you could do, right? When you get bored, you get frustrated, you get this long, extended sideways movement, what else can you do besides tune in to me? You can just continue to hodl and DCA. That's really it. That's the winning strategy. There's nothing else you need to do. You just continue to hodl and DCA. It's the winning strategy. You don't need to try to flip-flop between coins or outsmart the market by trading. All you have to do is accumulate, and the whales understand that, right? That's why we see that, and you can see it's actually starting to go up. Ever since that dip back down to 49,000, the whale accumulation have been increasing because that's like a sign, like, oh, okay, that may be the low of this period. That's when you want to accumulate, right? Actually, you could see it clearly after that point. It started going upwards. Started going up in a big way.